All right, we're going to dive into a single, really high-stakes phone call. This is a conversation that's all about delayed payments, intense pressure from investors, and it all leads to this one moment where a promise gets put to the ultimate test.
So, what we're hearing isn't just a simple negotiation. It's really a last ditch effort to try and save a deal. The stakes are incredibly high, and as you're about to see, the road to getting this sorted out is, well, it's a total minefield of broken promises. So, stepping into this incredibly tense situation is one of the speakers, Ghazala Din. And what's her first move? To take full, complete ownership of the entire mess.
Now that is a bold way to kick things off. With just that one sentence, she's trying to create a single point of accountability. The message is pretty clear. Forget everyone else, the buck stops with me. And then she just doubles down, making it personal. This isn't some canned corporate statement. It's a direct personal guarantee. And for just a second, it almost feels like there might be a simple way out of all this.
And there it is. A concrete solution is finally on the table. No more vague promises, just a clear timeline. Payments are going to get sorted out by the middle of next week. Problem solved, right?
Well, not so fast, because this is where the whole story just takes a really sharp turn. This brand new promise immediately slams right into the immense pressure that's been building up for a very, very long time. You see, while mid-next week might sound reasonable to some, for the person on the other end of the line, that's basically an eternity. They're dealing with a much, much tighter deadline from investors who have totally run out of patience. And there it is. That's the conflict, plain and simple. One person is promising mid-next week, but the other is facing this final ultimatum of tomorrow. That massive gap between those two timelines, that's where this whole conversation just falls apart. And to really get why they're so frustrated, you need a little context. This isn't a new issue. These investors have been waiting forever for refunds. The monthly payments have stopped coming, and a deadline that was set for today was just blown past. Trust has already been completely shattered. This is a total pressure cooker situation. You've got 4 different timelines all crashing into each other. The deadline that was missed today, an ultimatum for tomorrow, a new promise for next week, and the official refund date that's been kicked 2 months down the road. It's just an impossible spot to be in. So, with the pressure at an absolute peak and no easy answers in sight, a kind of crisis solution gets thrown out there. And it is, to say the least, pretty controversial. Okay, this is the big turning point in the call. The suggestion is basically to triage the investors, to hold back payments from people who have already gotten their initial investment back so that you can pay off the others. It's a pragmatic idea, maybe, but man, is it ethically complicated. And that suggestion, it doesn't just fall flat. It hits a solid brick wall of principle. The response is immediate, and it perfectly frames the central moral conflict of this entire conversation. And right here, you see the two positions laid bare. On one side, you have this pragmatic idea to withhold some funds to solve a cash flow problem. But on the other, you have this hard rejection based on a really fundamental principle. People don't invest just to break even. They invest to make a profit. The second speaker really drives this point home. That profit, the stock, as they call it, belongs to the investor. There was never any agreement that said that money could be withheld. It's a foundational promise that, in their mind, simply can't be broken, no matter how much pressure you're under. So, with that ethical line drawn firmly in the sand and the controversial idea shot down, the conversation has nowhere left to go. It just ends up right back where it started, at a total impasse. So in the end, this whole messy conflict just boils down to these two irreconcilable positions, a promise for next week versus a hard deadline for tomorrow. No middle ground was found, no agreement was reached, and the call just ends in a complete stalemate. This whole exchange just leaves us hanging, right on the edge of a financial cliff. And it forces us to ask a really tough question about responsibility and ethics when you're under this kind of pressure. When the clock has totally run out and all the faith has been lost, what is a promise, what is someone's word really worth?